Conquer Athlete community, what is going on? We're back here on the podcast. We have the one and only, the mouth of the South, the man with a heart of gold and a jawline like a god. Tyler Cooke is joining us on the show. He's not joining us. I guess we can't say joining. Like, you're the show.
I'm a co-host at this point.
Yeah, you're the show.
Sure.
You're the show. You're the co-host.
Dude, that's the single best. That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me is that I've got a heart of gold and a super strong jawline.
Yeah.
And that is really flattering.
You know, I think you can go real far in this world with those two things.
I think that'll carry you a long way. I'm going to try to teach my kids that. Listen, sweetheart, take care of your jawline and be a good person.
Who do you think has the best jawline in the game?
I'd have to think about it, like in the world or like the CrossFit game.
Let's say, which actor do you think has a marvelous jawline?
Brad Pitt.
And
I'm obsessed with Brad Pitt. That's the reason I shaved my head, because I saw him on a podcast. I was like, dude, that guy is unbelievable.
What do you think was his best movie?
Man, I don't know why I'm immediately thinking about, he's done so many. I'm immediately thinking about the Ocean movies, Ocean 11 in particular.
Yeah, those are good.
He was such a stud in that. He was so smooth. He was just calm. He's just a badass guy. So I don't know. I didn't think about it.
You're alone on a desert island.
He's a stud. With Brad Pitt?
With Brad Pitt. Are you hoping for Brad Pitt from Troy or Brad Pitt from Fight Club?
Oh my God, dude, I'm such an asshole. It's Troy. Troy's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Troy. Brad Pitt and Troy. Throw out any other person that's ever lived, and Brad Pitt from Troy gets it done.
So you're taking Brad Pitt body, hair, from Troy versus
attitude
versus Fight Club.
I think so. I think his, not even arrogance. I guess most people would be like, oh, he's so arrogant, but his confidence in like him and his guys of like, hey, we'll just go do this. I don't care who it is. I hope to teach my kid. Like, I think about this a lot whenever something good happens. I'm like, man, I hope I teach my kids that. I hope I teach my kids that level of like, hey, just freaking believe in yourself. I don't care what it is. Just believe, like, if not, fake it and just make everybody else think you do. I don't know. I just find that to be an unbelievably endearing quality. And I find it in that movie at its peak.
Yeah, that's great.
He was bad. He was badass.
All right. I don't know what other things we can say right now.
It was Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt it is. All right, let's jam. So Ryan is not joining us today, and the podcast team is a podcast for owners. For those of you guys who don't know, Tyler Cooke, CrossFit 1124, just bought a new place, new facility. They moved out of their old, beautiful facility, and they got a new, beautiful facility. So how's everything going with that?
It's not beautiful yet. It actually looks like a big warehouse and a piece of crap. It's funny, you drive by it. Our current building we're still in until July. We're leasing it back from the guy who bought it. It's beautiful from the street. You drive by, you're like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's awesome. It's very sexy. The new building is an old motorcycle warehouse, like a showroom.
Okay.
From the road, you just drive by. It's just like this nondescript, single level looking metal building. It's just ugly color gray right now, like nothing crazy. And then you get in there and it's just expansive. It goes way, way deep. So it's huge on the inside. And we're going to turn it into, just a quick synopsis. We're going to put in this gym, all we have is CrossFit. It's just one big room. I've got a couple of offices upstairs. We got a guy that does chiropractic out of here, a little small. I'm in his office now. But outside of that, we have no other offerings in this giant room. She's like, well, what do you do here? It's like, oh, we do CrossFit. That pays our bills. We don't even have open gym. Like, I do all my games training and stuff around class times because I don't want to affect Owen, who's teaching the med ball clean, to Nancy, who just started moving after 5 years from COVID, and she's like 30 pounds over. So we don't clang it back. So anyway, so the new space will have about 5,700 feet. We're 9,000 square feet of gym floor. The whole building is 14,500, but that includes bathrooms and other. Over there, we're going to have 5,700 feet in just the CrossFit space. Then a giant wall separating the open gym area, which will be open gym kind of all day. And that'll be about 2,500 square feet, which is still a good size, like almost gym. Like a lot of gyms are 3,000 square feet. Yeah. So that's a pretty good size space. The idea was kind of like Mayhem got their main gym and then they got their athlete area. I would love to continue to grow the open gym side and the athlete stuff. For years, I think I asked you about this a long time ago. I know I asked Ryan about it immediately when I had this idea. I was like, man, for years, we've always battled that like culture divide of community and CrossFit. And then open gym and trying to develop in the sport of CrossFit, which are two totally different groups of people. And I've just seen it done. I'm sure you've seen it 100 times over, where the competitive side bleeds in and kind of tears apart the culture of, hey, man, we just want to get fit. We can come in here and check the box, hang out with some buddies, and then leave, right? Versus the guy that's in the corner just doing glute ham rate, like just accessory work. And he's got his headphones in. And so anyway, I asked Ryan about that. He's like, man, especially in the new space, when I'll have a clear divide of the two spaces, and we're going to really try to just keep leaning into the culture of like, and Ryan said, he's like, dude, just continue to be you. You're the baddest dude in the gym. And maybe that's not true anymore, but like, just be a nice person. And so if someone doesn't fit that culture, you tell, hey, that's not what we do here. Get out. It's not, we
Yeah,
can be
yeah,
athletic and strong and all that and still be a good person. So we're going to try to do all that in the new space. We haven't been able to do it here because of our space limitations, just one big room. But over there with two separate rooms, I'm going to try to marry the two of like, hey, we got great community on both sides of the wall. So
yeah, yeah.
that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think for that, it really comes down to having everybody on the same page. I think because we did that for a long time when we used to have a lot of competitors here and all our teams and all that stuff, and we only have one open space. Like we don't have multiple rooms, but the competitors had to buy into the overall what the mission of the gym was. Like, what the purpose of the gym was for, not just the purpose of making the games. And when they're able to do that, you're able to generate a mutual respect and understanding between the two groups, right? Where the competitors would, if they're doing their thing, they'd have to be conscious of the classes going on, be conscious of the people and what they need to do, the coaches who are talking and work around that, right? And the people in the class, same thing. They have to understand the purpose of the competitors. And as long as both parties understood the two roads, but understood that it's still all underneath our one common umbrella and people can work together and have respect for one another, things worked well. And yeah, there'd be some points where things didn't go well and some people would be upset about the weights and all this and all that. But I always looked at like, listen, you can't always please the entire world. No matter what you try to do or who you try to be, like people are always going to get upset over something. But if you do your best and with the majority of it coincides, it can work well. Because for us, like that always brought us a level of excitement around the open that we don't have right now. They rally around the team and rally around the people doing the open workout and rally around their path to the games and be super involved in it. I made the decision 2 years ago to back away from that and only to work on individual athletes and almost like athletes not at the gym, just because the amount of time it takes to truly coach them on the weekends. During the week, like I just didn't have it anymore with my kids. So it was something I had to kind of take a step back from. And because of that, the gym also took a step back from it. So now, we just work with like the masters athletes and tutor and a few others, but that's it on my side.
That's super interesting because I've been in the spot where I'm in the mode right now of this will be my third trip to the games, God willing that we make it. So I'm still in the mode of like mindset. I'm obsessed with the sports side. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the atmosphere of it. I think I'm a little bit unique in that I'm such a people person. A lot of this is Ryan, but such a people person in the mindset of it all. It's not just like how fit you are; it's how the whole process goes in the weekend and leading up to, and how you handle successful foot. I love it. I love all of it. I love being at competitions, be around it. So I could see myself getting into like a coaching on-site stuff. I don't have any desire to write program, and we talked about that a little bit before, but I think this is twofold. It is a part for me to try it and see, hey, how do I like it when it's not me physically training
Yeah.
and competing and doing it? Like if we have an 11-24 team and I'm not on it, how do I feel about that? Like that's my
Right.
name, right? But I'm gonna let Jess carry the banner of it, right? Like keep the thing. But anyway, but I think I'm excited. I think probably too, you've done it. I mean, shit, you've been doing this for
19 years.
50 years. Yeah, yeah.
50. I'm
Remember the
75.
Kevin Hart thing?
I'm 75 years old. Yeah.
Remember the Kevin Hart, Don Cheadle, where he's like, hey,
Yeah.
you've been doing this 50 years. Hey.
Yeah.
But I think there's a part of like right now I'm on the front end of that.
Mhm.
I'm excited to I want to be around it. If you're in the Atlanta market and you're listening to this, please call me. We want you in the gym. We want you to come throw down. And if you got the
Yeah.
right mindset, you'll fit in great. We got Alexis Raptis here, all of leading up to Syndicate, and then probably back over the summer for the games training. Her coach
Nice.
Kyle Ruth is in
Yep.
town, so she's training here every day. And so like when you walk in and you see that, for me, I'm like, I gotta get to work, dude. I can't slack.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the members will see. And I just think it's a cool culture thing. So that'll also check that box. But at the end of the day, the CrossFit pays my bills, right? So like that's at the
Yeah.
end of the day, 10 years from now, that's what I'm going to focus on my members. That's who's paying for this whole party. But it is cool to have that something to rally around and be around and we'll just kind of see how it grows organically. So I'm excited about it. It's a lot of moving parts right now, a lot
Yeah.
going on.
I loved it. I mean, I was like having like just like your excitement and what you just said, if you're in the Atlanta area to come by 1124, like that's how it was here for. If I had the gym for 19 years, it was like that for 16 of the past 19 years, where because when I came in, it started off with like myself and Rob Orlando and Lipson and Hobart and the Bergerons, and we'd all get together every single Friday and Saturday and train, right?
Dude, what a list of names you just that picture you posted that time
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
when Robert it was like Owen sent it to me. It was like, dude, look at this freaking murderers row
Yeah, like it was like it's like
picture.
that's how it started. We go to Rob's, they would all come up here, like Sin Martinez and his whole Brooklyn crew, and we'd all just be thrown down. And that kind of started the competition stuff, right? Because CrossFit New England and us and Shoreline CrossFit and a few of these other local gyms. And then from there it went into, okay, like I just want everybody here, right? So then it went into having anybody that was training within inside a 50-mile radius was coming here to train. There'd be Fridays where we'd have like 20 to 25 people in here just training for the open and the games. And, there's like a couple years we had 2 teams and individuals and the masters athletes would be coming up here. There'd be like 30 people up here on a Friday afternoon, right? Saturday. And it
That's
was,
so cool.
yeah, and it was like that for 16 years, right? And God bless my wife, because when I first got in it, like I would be here on Saturdays from like 9 or 10 to like 4 or 5, like, and then Sunday again, right? It was like every single weekend until the games was done. It was a lot. And then the first year I gave up the team side of it was hard. Like what you just said, like at some point, like you're at the front end when you're the back end, like it was hard when I gave up like coaching the team, because I was like, man, like this is a huge part of what I was doing and who I was for a while. But I knew it had to happen because my kids, their
Yeah,
sports
dude, they're
schedule, the
playing ball
weekends.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was like, I can't miss that stuff. I can't have people relying on me and then I'll be here and I don't want to be here, right? I want to be with my families. That was a big shift. For a while it was hard. But then after a while, I was like, yeah, that was the right decision for me based off my lifespan. Like you look at Tudor too, right? Like for instance, Tudor last year was the first games I didn't go to in 19 years. And Tudor made it, right? I think Zach coaches him at the competitions. He went. He goes to the World Fitness Projects. So, yeah, it's a complete setback.
Do you think you'll ever get back to the not necessarily on site at Milford, but like on site at the games or Rogue or like whatever else?
I don't know, man.
Do you enjoy how does that compare to like on site? I'm sorry, I'm fiddling with a watch. Do you enjoy the on site coaching at
Oh,
competitions?
I love it. I
The
love it.
strategy side, the
Oh,
playing the game,
yeah, the
leaderboarding.
strategy, all that stuff, just the competition. There's a lot that goes into it from a psychological standpoint, and it's almost like a test of myself to see where I'm at from a psychology and a human connection and human development standpoint, aside from the X's and O's. But I look at it like, if I use Tudor as an example, like Zach has such a good relationship with Tudor, and Zach's been with Tudor a lot longer, and Zach has a much better temperament than me. So I think he is a better coach for Tudor than me. That's why, like every single games and competition, Zach goes, not me. So I think I've really come to an elevated level of myself where I know, like, if I can provide a good job or not for some people.
But you think that's more specific to Tudor and that situation in a bubble. If you had another athlete that was like, hey, we're doing it, whether it's team or individual, whatever, you would get back and like, hey, I'm getting back out
Yeah,
there, get those juices flowing.
I would. It's challenging for me to commit because, like, my daughter, like, we usually do a long family, like, because our summers are so, like, we don't have a summer, right? My son's traveling all over
Baseball
all
and
over the
everything else.
nation for baseball, right? And my daughter's getting older and my little one's getting involved in her things. At the weekends come and I'm like we don't do anything. And then we take this trip at the end as a family, like, okay, summer's over. We got to reconnect as a family. We got to take this trip. But that's usually like the week of the games, because now my daughter's volleyball season starts up like mid-August. She can't miss that. So I miss it. I love it. Could I commit to being there again? I think at some point I would. I think it's hard for me to say 100% yes right now, but like I need it, right? So I subsidize that almost like with my son. I'm not saying like I live through my son, but he allows me to coach him. Like, he allows me to, like, it's like for him, like, I coach the shit out of him more from the mental side and mental development and drilling wise and all that stuff. There's still part of me that misses being in the trenches at the games. Shit, I was there for like 16 years, right? Like 17 years. Sometimes at the games, I remember one year at the games, I had 25 people between teams and masters and teenagers. Yeah, and it was like, that was like chaos, but I loved it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can never
25
say
people is crazy.
you can never close the door on anything, but it's crazy how your
Yeah.
life goes in cycles. Like I always was like, I'll always be here every single year, and I'm like,
And it
I don't
depends.
know.
Yeah. What else is going
Like
on?
like last year at the games when Tudor got come back after the year, I was at fucking Disney with my family. So it's like,
Right.
I'm sitting in the Winnie the Pooh ride watching the game, seeing how he's doing. But then
Ah,
I'm so superstitious, and I was telling Tudor and Zach this the other day, like, if I do something and something good happens, I will repeat that until it stops happening.
until it stop happening again.
Yeah, so and I'm in this mindset that every single time I don't watch Tudor compete, he wins. Every
I
single
think you
time,
said that a couple
yeah,
weeks
and
ago.
every single time I watch him compete, things
Shit's
don't go well, right? So I don't watch him compete anymore. I wait to get the text messages from Zach with how
and
what
he's crushing
happened.
it.
Yeah, and he
He's
crushed
crushing
it.
it.
And that happened at World Fitness Project. The one fucking event I tuned in for, he took like 19th. And I'm like, oh fuck this. So
Can't watch that.
I stopped watching it, and then he like won every other workout and got on the podium.
Catch
Yeah.
the highlights. That's
So there it
hilarious.
is. There it is. Um,
Dude, that's so cool. I think there's like a Mr. Miyagi factor of like having you in the room. If someone were to do their research, there's just so much value in that. Like the presence that you would bring in there, like you've been through this, man. And like this isn't anything new. Oh, you just shit the bed in that event. Who cares? We'll figure it out in the next one. And there's a
yeah.
calmness that I think a coach needs to bring to the table that I could again, you've done it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of us in the game, like you look like Max and myself, and CJ stepped away, but him when he was there, and Yanni. Oh, shit, I'm probably missing people, but I'm just talking about like people that go back to like
The early
the
days.
ranch days, right? We've been there
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single year. Like we've seen everything, like everything that could happen. We've been through and seen it. So when things come up, we're like, whatever, just gotta figure it
You know
out.
what's cool about that too is that it's such a young man's game that you get these athletes, and even if they've been in it 3 or 4 or 5 years, they're considered to be like a vet, right, in the space, but that's still only 3 or 4 or 5 years, and you've done it 4 times that, right, and so being
Yeah,
able to, like it's such a young person's and so the experience level that you've been there 2 or 3 times, and you're like, "I'm going in, this will be my 3rd time." Well, that's a fair amount of, like,
hell
experiences doing
yeah,
it. But still, every competition is different. Every schedule is going to be different, this and that. So having somebody to be, I mean, again, that's one of Ryan's greatest traits is he's just like steady Eddies. It's like, no big deal. We'll figure it out. It's all good. And that's when you get in that environment where everything's going 100,000 miles an hour and then you shit your pants on a workout and you're like, oh, the world's ending. He's like, maybe not. I don't know. I just find there to be like tremendous value in that.
bro. That was one of my worst traits when I first started coaching. Is I was I was a very emotional athlete, and I was a very emotional coach when I first started. And if you look at like old Again Faster videos of me coaching and things like that, like I was riding those waves with my athletes, and I realized that was the worst thing to do, because you got to
You feed
stay
off of it.
yeah, they're going to feed off it, whether it's high or low, and you don't want athletes to get too high, you don't want athletes to get too low, right? And it's, I used to be in the stands yelling and hooting and fucking hollering and screaming, like hanging over the rail, right? And I'm like, and I realized that they don't need that. They don't need to see that. They don't need to feel that more pressure or like, they're at that level where if they can go faster and go harder, like they
They're
will.
going
They
to.
will. Like this, me yelling and falling over the railing, screaming at them isn't going to, they got to have it internally to get to the next level. But yeah, it was crazy thinking back how I used to act. I used to fucking throw chairs. My God, yeah, it was
Dude, I
crazy.
love it. And
Yeah.
volatile. I love that.
Yeah.
Put your shirt up with a razor blade. If you didn't get that, listen to the last episode. Yeah, it was cool. I coached. We had an athlete here that made Magic City Games
Uh-huh.
as a 45 to 49. Dude does the 6:30 class. Shout out Mike Bain. He's just nasty fit. Like he doesn't do any kind of extra stuff. He's got some stuff at his house, but he comes to the 6:30 every day with his wife Kelly. And he qualified. So he's like, well, I guess I'll just go. He's the only reason I'm doing this is to represent the gym. He's like, well, dude, let's go. So I went as his coach. And I was
That's
the back.
awesome.
We did the whole thing. And it was awesome. I called Ryan after we were talking on the way back, and I was like, bro, mine wasn't like the volatile ride the waves. Mine was like, I wanted to tell him every single detail that I was seeing or thinking about. And like I had to tell myself, hey, just give him like one or two. Like last thoughts when you go out there, hey, think about these 10 things. And I was like, whoa, you know what? Hey, think about your foot plate, whatever, like one or two little small ones. And that was a Ryan thing. I tangibly in the moment thought about,
Mm.
hey man, don't overdo this here. This guy's just, he doesn't, it's like, don't overload him. He's already in his mind. He's like, holy shit. And so I called Ryan after. I was like, bro, I don't know how y'all do it. To be that calm and still get the point. I will never forget. I use it all the time. We were at the back squat event and we're in the back and it's chaos. We're in that secondary warm up area about to go on at the games. And all these coaches are like, hey, you need to put 405 on the bar and you hit that twice and you back up and you do the same thing. You get the
Yeah.
breath cadence.
Yeah.
All Ryan would do, he'd walk up in my ear. He's like, I don't give a shit what you're lifting. He would just say, speed out of the bottom. Hit the bottom, explode. Speed, speed, speed. Only thought, we get on the floor, only thought I had speed, 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 speed. Squat the house, right?
Yeah.
And afterwards we were talking about it. I was like, what was your, like, no numbers? He's like, how many times have you squatted? You don't need me to give you numbers. He's like, the only thing I wanted you to think about was if you can think about controlling that. Anyway, it was just like, so this weekend I was thinking about it. I was like, holy shit, dude. As a coach, I don't think athletes don't give enough credit to, we think there's a lot going on the floor and there is, but man, as a coach, you want to jump in and fit or like help and fix and don't forget about that. And that's a lot too. There's a lot going on. And for it to be moving as fast as it does, you got to be a pro's pro to be able to handle that the right way.
Yeah. If you
A lot of pressure on that.
what they used to always do, I used to try to study the way coaches act. Like, anytime I was around a coach, and in the early days of CrossFit, I was fortunate enough because I could be around Mike Bergener a lot. I could be around, Don Wellborn a lot. I could be around these people.
Legends.
Yeah, I could be around these people who have been coaching and been in the trenches for a long time. And then I'd go out and I would spend time with coaches in other professions, track athletes and all these other really high ranking people. And I just kind of watch them and hear how they say and acted and moved. And what I always noticed was that the most successful coaches from a wins and loss standpoint and community standpoint and athlete development standpoint, like they said very little. No one overtalked, no one overspoke. They said just what they had to say at the right time. And to me, like that's the art of coaching because everybody needs something different, right? You can't have that one mantra with everybody, but are you able to recognize what this person needs and give them just what they need, not what they think they want in the moment that they need it in order to be successful, and that could be a simple smile. It could be just say, I'm proud of you. It could be a cue, right? It could be speed out of the bottom, no matter what it might be, but being able to recognize that for the people in front of you. And that's really what transcends great coaches from just normal coaches, in my opinion.
I think it's awesome. Do you think that's probably a portion of both a little bit of ego of like the coach feeling like he needs to, hey, I'm the coach. Hey, you need to think about these 10 things. But also like that, I guess not inexperienced necessarily, but as a younger coach getting in it, like you feel like you got to overcoach. Sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's ego. I think it's overcoaching. I think it's not having experience. But I also think it's a lack of reflection, because when I first got into it, my first couple of years at the games, I would overcoach the shit out of people, and, and I'd think back, be like what, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I improve upon? And I remember I was with Matt Bruce. If you guys don't know Matt Bruce, he was the one who founded Brute Strength back in the day, with, oh shit, Tommy and, yeah, Matt and Tommy Hackenbrook. And Matt was on the USA weightlifting team. He got coached by one of the greatest weightlifting coaches of all time in USA history. And I was with Matt and we had a good relationship and we were in the back talking at one of the regionals. And one of his athletes was like a snatch ladder, was snatching. They looked like shit. No, they weren't hitting one fucking lift and the technique looked terrible. And Matt was sitting there. He didn't say a word. And I was sitting next to Matt and she looks over at him and he smiles at her and he says, he had like this Louisiana draw, very slow. And he was like, you look so fucking good right now. You're about to crush it out there. Right. And I was just like, they just fucking.
She just missed the last three lifts.
Missed the last three fucking lifts, almost broke her head. And he looks at me and he's like, at this point, the only thing you could do is give your athlete confidence, and I was like, yeah, you're fucking right. Right. And like, that was a huge lesson for me too, way back when that always stuck with me.
Dude, I am, and it may be more placebo earlier. I was talking about, circle this thing all the way back to Brad Pitt, if we could for a moment. I think in business, in life, in sport, whatever, I think that belief, that confidence and belief in what you're going to do, I can't put a value or a price tag on what that is for people, but I think it's enormously undervalued in the market. I think people just grossly underestimate the power of like, hey man, just believe in whatever it is you're about to go do. And then weightlifting are like probably the best and easiest example in our sport of like, if you have any doubt, you probably already missed it, right? You have to fake believe. I'm going to nail this. Hey man, it's 20 pounds over your back. I don't give a shit. I'm going to hit it, right? And I think that to your point, from a coaching standpoint, if nothing else, and I look over and Ryan's like, That's all. I'm on fire because like he believes I got this. He knows more than I do. He's smart. Ryan's smarter than me. He knows that. So I think that confidence instilling that is, again, back to my kids. I hope I can instill that and they walk in there with their chest high and that kind of thing in the sport. Again, even if it's fake sometimes, it's like, hey, just believe it. The Jess and them make fun of me on the team because I'm like, we're going to win this every event. But
Yeah.
we're not really, but maybe. I don't know. We're going to try.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love it. All right, guys, it is 3:00. That is the time for our show. Tyler's got to get back to sheetrocking. And do you have to sheetrock or you're a framer? You're a framer.
I'm meeting a framer today.
Yeah.
And he's going to get started this weekend. I'm so excited. I'll send you guys pictures.
What if this dude comes walking in with a tool belt on looking like Brad Pitt?
I'd feel way better about our situation because he's going to figure it out. I love it. It's awesome.
All right. We hope you guys enjoy the show. This is a quick one, but I feel like this is one that we could have made a lot longer. So maybe we'll continue this one.
No doubt.
Check us out. Hope you enjoy the show. Coach Arc's podcast, Candace, Conquer Athlete Coaching Mentorship for any coaches that want to understand how to coach better and write better programs. And then if you're an athlete out there looking for a coach, our individual design program. That might have been the worst outro of any podcast I've ever done. We wrote almost done 300 podcasts, and that might have been my worst outro ever.
It wasn't great, but the intro was electric. So I think they'll probably offset.
Balance each other out. All right. See you guys next week.